Imagine you're checking your super on your phone one evening and that big scary figure pops into your head. You need $630,000 to retire, maybe even $1 million. If that feels impossible, take a breath. Because here's something most people are never told. A government-backed benchmark says many single homeowners like you can retire comfortably on about $322,000. That's a $308,000 gap for a lifestyle that's barely different. Over the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how to find your real number, not someone else's. Before we get into the how-to, let me tell you why this matters so much for you. If you chase the wrong number, you don't just oversave, you might work an extra 3 to 5 years you never needed to. If you're on $60,000 net, that's over $180,000 of income and time you'll never get back. Or you over-contribute, locking away money you can't touch for decades when it could have funded other goals. Getting this wrong easily costs you $200,000 over a working life. So let's get your real target right. And here's where it gets interesting. Here's the number at the heart of all this, $308,000. That's the difference between the two main benchmarks for a single homeowner like you. ASFA, the super fund body, says you need $630,000 for a comfortable retirement. Super Consumers Australia says $322,000 is enough for a medium lifestyle. And the actual difference in spending? Just $8,497 a year. You'd be paying a $300,000 comfort tax for a modest lifestyle bump. Let's work out which number is genuinely yours. Move 1. Head to the ASIC Money Smart website and find the page called How Much Super Should I Have? If you've never used this before, that's not a failure. Most people don't know this free, independent government tool even exists. It's gold because it shows both benchmarks side by side. Scroll to the ASFA table at age 67. For a single homeowner, that's around $110,000 for modest and $630,000 for comfortable. Then keep scrolling to the Super Consumers table at 65, about $74,000 for low, $322,000 for medium, and $891,000 for high. Money Smart 2024, SCA 2024. Now decide honestly which lifestyle fits your life and write down one single dollar target. That's your real number. Here's why those Super Consumers numbers are so much lower. They factor in the age pension. If you're a single homeowner on the medium standard, the age pension covers around 67% of your total spending, SCA 2024. In Australia, the pension is designed to be a core part of your retirement income, not a backup you hope you never need. So your super only needs to top up the rest. That's exactly why $322,000 can genuinely be enough for you, while the scarier numbers quietly ignore how much the pension actually contributes. Move 2. Now let's find out whether you're already on track without lifting a finger. Open the Money Smart Superannuation Calculator or your own fund's retirement income tool. Enter your age, your current balance, your salary, and the contribution rate, which is now 12% of your salary thanks to the Superannuation Guarantee, ATO 2025. Set your planned retirement age, 65 or 67, and pick the investment option you actually have, like balanced. Then run it. The calculator projects your balance at retirement. Compare that to the target you wrote down. And here's the part most people miss. A lot of them are stunned to find they're far closer than they thought, just from compulsory contributions and compounding. Let me make this concrete, because you might see yourself in it. Sarah's 45, earns $110,000 a year, and has $190,500 in super, right around the average for her age group, April 2024. She felt hopeless because every ad told her she needed $630,000 or more. But run the numbers. Her 12% super guarantee puts $13,200 into super every year, ATO 2025. Add ongoing compounding on what she already has, and her balance fund plausibly grows past the $322,000 medium target by age 67, with no voluntary top-ups at all. She was never behind. She was just measuring against the wrong number. And if that sounds like you, you're going to want to hear the next part. There's another simple way for you to sanity check your number, and the big funds use it: the replacement rate rule. Roughly 70% of your current take-home pay is usually enough to keep your lifestyle in retirement, as long as you own your home. Aware Super, CSC. Now, I want to be honest with you here. This one has a catch. For Sarah, 70% works out near $54,000 a year, almost exactly the ASFA comfortable budget. But the super consumer's medium figure of $44,000 is still around 57% of her take-home, and with no mortgage and no work costs, that may be completely fine. It depends on your real spending, not a rule of thumb. The point is, you have options, and most cost far less than $1 million. Move 3. Now make your contributions and investment option match your actual target efficiently. Check your latest statement or fund portal for your year-to-date concessional contributions. That's employer plus any salary sacrifice. Compare that to the concessional cap, which is $30,000, rising to $32,500 from the 1st of July 2026, ATO 2024. Stay under the cap so all those contributions keep the low 15% tax rate. If Move 2 showed a gap, you might add a modest salary sacrifice, $50 to $100 a week, rather than panic dumping money in, and check your investment option suits your time horizon. The goal is hitting your real target, not an arbitrary million. A quick warning on Move 3, because over-contributing is a real trap. If you panic and pour in an extra $10,000 a year you didn't actually need, you could lock away $100,000 over a decade. Money you can't touch until preservation age, ATO 2024. That might have funded a renovation, a career break, or simply retiring earlier. Super is brilliant, but it's not the only tool, and it's not flexible. Contribute enough to hit your real target, then keep the rest where you can actually use it. For you, balance beats blind maximizing. And that leads straight into the biggest myth of all. Let's bust the biggest myth of all, the idea that you need $1 million in super. You hear it everywhere, but it simply isn't supported by the evidence for most people. Independent analysis of real spending data shows many single homeowners can reach a medium standard of living on about $322,000 plus the age pension, SCA 2024. Even ASFA's comfortable benchmark is $630,000, and that only buys about $8,500 more spending a year. Money Smart 2024. If you've ever felt like a failure looking at that $1 million figure, that's not on you. The number itself is misleading. Ignore it. The second common mistake, planning as if your super has to fund your entire retirement on its own. It doesn't. If you're a homeowner with a modest balance, the age pension is designed to do the heavy lifting, covering around 2/3 of your spending at the medium level, SCA 2024. Average balances near retirement sit well below the comfortable target anyway, around $190,000 for people in their early 50s, APRA 2024. And those people will still retire just fine, because the whole system is built around the pension and super working together. So always factor the pension into your number. It changes everything. Let's recap fast so you can act on this today. Step 1. Benchmark your real target on Money Smart and choose the lifestyle that actually fits you, ASFA comfortable or super consumer's medium. Step 2. Run the free Money Smart calculator with your age, balance and 12% contributions to see if you're already on track. Step 3. Align your contributions and investment mix to that target and stay under the concessional cap to keep the tax break. 2 things to never forget. The age pension covers around 2/3 of medium level spending, and the $1 million number is a myth for most people. Find your number, not someone else's. So here's where you stand now. You know something most people in your situation don't. Before you panic about being behind, do the 3 moves and you'll likely find your real target is far lower and far more achievable than the headlines suggest. The one thing to do today is open Money Smart and write down your single target number. It takes about 10 minutes. If you want to go deeper, next up I'll break down exactly how the age pension assets and income tests work, so you know precisely how much you can have in super and still get a part pension. I'm Alex, I'll see you there.